And welcome back, everybody. You are once again in the realm of what Annie and I like to call, what do we call this, Annie?
The Top 5 Podcast?
It is the Top 5 Podcast. How right you are, and how silly that I would all of a sudden forget that. I am Chris McPeak, and joining me today, as always, I feel like this is turning into like Wayne and Garth.
Yeah.
Hang on, Annie.
Pretty on, Garth.
Okay, so it's Oscar time. Yeah, we love that. Yeah, we could do that all day. So we're going a little sentimental this week. You know, last week, I just saw you last week. Like I was just in Kansas and we recorded an episode in person, which is always great. I always enjoy doing that. But today we're going to talk about the 5 songs that each of us bring to mind when we think about each other. So this is the top 5 songs reminding me of my sister co-host. The top 5 songs reminding me of Annie Mayer Pruitt.
Okay.
It's a fun list. I wonder if we'll have overlap. I'm going to bet on 2.
Yeah. I have multiple so that because I have more than, obviously I have more than 5. So just that there's not too much overlap. So, but I'm going to make you go first though.
Okay. Well, I'll be happy to go first. My number 5, and I'm going to say this and you're probably going to make a face first. And so is everybody in the crowd, because they're going to think, why would you call your sister, your co-host and your best friend, a red-eyed troll by the Muffs? But that's mostly because you were the person who introduced me to the Muffs. And it was a point in time. Actually, a lot of the songs on this list are in a point in time where you and I had some serious overlap at University of Arkansas. I was in grad school, you were working on your undergrad, and after our sister Jennifer went back home, it was you and me, and we did a lot of stuff together. So there was all kinds of music that was featured in our time, things that you were sharing with me that you had found in high school or along the way. And so the Muffs were one of those bands. And I think there was a different album that one of us had on a CD that is not available on Apple Music, because there's another song that's popping into my head, but you gave it to me on a cassette. You made me a mixtape. And for the life of me, I can't remember if it is Red-Eyed Troll, but when I do listen to Red-Eyed Troll, it reminds me that you introduced me to the Muffs. And can I just say for the record, I do not think you are anything close to being a Red-Eyed Troll.
No, I still love that band. I have both of the 2 albums that I listen to the most. I still have both of them on my big playlist. Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. Sort of that, like, after the glory days of punk rock, but punk rock with girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you my top 5 kind of here's my Park Ridge song that reminds me of you.
I love it.
As some of you may know, Chris and I, we were born in Illinois, raised in Park Ridge before we moved to Arkansas. So this is the Park Ridge era. And it's kind of, you could pretty much pick any song from the album, but this one in particular, when I hear Tough Guys or Speedwagon.
Oh, damn.
High Fidelity, REO Speedwagon. But I will admit, and I think you and I can sing it. We could sing the entire album word for word from start to finish. And that's the first album I've been able to do that with. And I think that, and like now when we hear it on the radio, it's like, I know when you're going to go high and I'm going to go low, you know, when we sing those together. But
which is great, because to this day, I think I am not consistent in go-go songs, but I think I am consistent in REO Speedwagon songs.
Yeah. So that's my number 5.
God. That brings back a whole crap ton of memories, because now that you're mentioning it, I can even remember when we would put the speaker in the window so that we could have that. And I don't know why it was High Fidelity that always went to the speaker in the window, but boy, if we need to do a top 5 favorite albums of childhood or grade school or whatever, to the tune of like the album that you would listen to over and over and over and over again, because there's not a bad song on it. Like you can play the whole album through, and it's like you're saying, I know every lyric and I know exactly where I and my sister are going to harmonize at. That good choice, Annie. Inspired.
Okay.
Number 3
Number
is,
4.
oh,
This
number
is number
4, right. Number 4 is by Juliana Hatfield. And this is the song called My Sister. And it is told from the standpoint of the younger sister singing about the older sister. But I think about, I hope it gets sad. I think about the history of a relationship, right? And sometimes we think our older sister, our older sibling, whoever is the coolest person in the world. And then sometimes we think that person is not very nice because they come home from college and they go right to their Baptist boyfriend's house and blow us off. So that song is filled with a myriad of emotions, but it's still a song about really loving your sister. And I'm the oldest, so that song is not sentimental to me in a sense that putting you in the position of not Julianne Hatfield, but the person Julianne Hatfield singing about. But when I think about that song, I think of, wow, it has just been, a lifetime with a person and going through all the cycles of growth and what is important to us when we're 7 versus what's important to us when we're 55. And I just am so blessed that you are my sister. And if you were, well, I was the first person that took you to a concert. So what am I talking about here? We could redo she's the one that would have taken me to my first Kenny Loggins concert. Anyway, yeah. So super, super sentimental tune for me, but it runs the roller coaster and as do our relationship. So there you go. I love you, Annie.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my Arkansas song. So and we didn't hang out a lot, like, because, you're 6 years older, third grader and eighth grader, I think at the time, or a ninth grader. But when we did hang out, we listened to music a lot in that house.
Yeah, we did.
I do remember quite often driving, and it wasn't until like college years that we really started singing the song together, but I remember listening to it a lot in Arkansas. So We Belong by Pat Benatar. I love singing that to you. It is one, and so every time I hear it, I immediately like see you in either in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. And I know when you're going high or when I'm going high, I know exactly that song with you. And every time I hear it, it makes me think of you. And that's the one. So that's my Arkansas song.
That is so clever. And I wish I had thought about this in terms of these phases in our lives. I have to look that up really quickly because suddenly I'm not remembering what album that's on. And no, I don't. Oh, it's on the, where is it? View album, show album, Tropico. So yeah, so this is for sure an Arkansas song because it was high school, 1984, high school for me. Good one. Very nice. Okay. My number 3, another band that you introduced me to, but this became a karaoke favorite of mine only because when I finally learned how to sing the chorus, it made me feel pretty badass. And that is Here and Now by Letters to Cleo. The comfort of a knowledge of a rise above the sky, above could never parallel
the challenge of an
acquisition in the here and now. I still don't think I know what that means, but it is quite something to sing that. And
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever have learned about Letters to Cleo had it not been for you. And again, another fabulous mixed tape that you handed over my way.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and they didn't have a huge. They weren't a big. They were other than having an appearance in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You.
Right. And covering a Cheap Trick song, I think. I Want You to Want Me.
Yeah. They did a couple songs on the soundtrack, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. I know that we're getting close to the ones that I know we're going to have crossover week.
Okay.
So the first college song, it's not a song that came out while we were in college, but it was one of our rock out songs, and it's not the one you're thinking of. It was, and I can't remember the road trip we were, or what we were driving or what we were doing. We were probably going to the movies or something like that. But it's okay. Run Away by Slade.
Oh, yes.
Song up so loud and drum on the dashboard of the car. And I just, it's so exciting. And it's been on my running playlist, but every time I hear it, I think about driving in a car with you.
Wherever the hell we were
singing
going.
and rocking out, with the windows down. So
Yes.
Run Slade, I love that. I love it. It's not a great song, and I don't think I would love it had it not been the excitement of singing it with you.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's a place and time song. And I think Slade, they were not entirely a one-hit wonder from the 80s, but of that, when I think of that song, I think of In a Big Country by Big Country. And then I also think of the Tarzan, I feel like they all came out around the same time, and I can't think of one without thinking of the other.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Charles says, why would you remind me of that song?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, and this is going to make a great playlist, which, by the way, quick segue. I'm starting, when Annie and I do a show on songs, obviously songs that already exist, because we have several, cover song wish lists that are out there. But I'm trying to, anytime Annie and I do a show about songs, I try to make a playlist that I have published on Apple Music. So if you listen to last week's show, you know about Songs About Summer. So there's a great playlist there. And this is going to be a pretty freaking good playlist as well. Okay. Oh, yeah. Number 2. This is the Big Daddy rock out song of our lives, I think. And there's not a time that I'm spending time with Annie Mara Pruitt that we do not work this into the mix somehow. And that is the amazing Firehouse song, Don't Treat Me Bad. And as Charles faints slightly in the background. And again, Firehouse, they kind of burned in and then blew out. But this is a great song. This is a sing at the top of your lungs song, and try to hit the high notes, which are sometimes easy to hit and sometimes hard to hit, and sometimes we sound ridiculous. And I think they definitely have a rhythm on who's going high and who's not, and like who's singing backup and who's not. And so we've got a good rhythm there. Oh, yeah. But and I don't even know how it was that this came to be a Chris and Annie song. I could not tell you the exact time in history that it happened, only that it happened, and that I can't go anywhere and hear that song and not think about you and want to sing it with you, and want to sing it with you like 5 times in a row. Which really, yes. Yeah. At which time everybody else in the room leaves and, doesn't want to talk to us for several hours, but boy, yeah. Woo. Yes.
Okay. My number 2 is not one that we necessarily sang together, but I watched you sing it.
Ooh.
And introduced me to this band. But one of my best memories of college, so I'm in the college years now, was watching you at Coffee House in your band, Joe.
Oh,
and so this Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls. I'd not actually heard the Indigo Girls sing it. I heard you sing it first. And that's the first time I heard that song. So every time I hear it, I don't immediately think of the Indigo Girls. I immediately think of you singing in the Coffee House, your band. That was my, like, the only social thing I would go to. Otherwise I was like a frightened little mouse in my dorm, my residence hall room, right?
Thank you for that.
A beautiful song. I have since come to appreciate other Indigo Girls songs as well, but I do love hearing you sing that song. So it's not one that I necessarily need to sing with you, but I love listening to you sing it. So it reminds me of you doing that.
Oh, the days of Joe and the Residence Hall Association Coffee House. Those were some really, I think you even came up from high school on a couple of those nights.
Yeah.
On the, Thursday night in the not Futrall.
Yeah.
What was the other? Oh my God.
Before I actually started school there. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the damn dining hall that it was in. Fulbright, in the Fulbright dining hall.
Yeah.
And then the second year, I want to say, did it move to Bruff Commons? Or was it, oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So
moved to Bruff.
yeah, oh gosh, the coffee house days. And you know, karaoke did not come first for me. Joe came first, and then came karaoke and all of the other tunes that I learned. But yeah, and let's not forget, Annie, that you wrote our
I did.
only original
Yeah.
song,
That
lyrics
was fun.
by Annie Mayer, Dance with Me, that we performed exactly twice. Because it was in the tail end of the Joe years before the horrid breakup, if you want to call it that.
I'm
Oh my God. Okay, honorable mention. I actually left this blank, but a lot of things are popping up here now as we're, you know, talking about stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking of college years and you living off campus and having parties at yours and James's apartment, because we obviously couldn't really have parties in my apartment per se, but of all the Mayer children, you know, Annie, you got all the rhythm. So I have this lovely memory of being at a party at your house and Lenny Kravitz, Are You Going to Go My Way? Because you had a lovely little dance for that song. We got to love and rub a dub. And yeah, so I can't hear that song and not think about you and remember you and your very big flannel shirts and your very loose jeans and your very long golden curly-ish hair, because you were still wearing your hair down,
Yeah.
you know, pre-military days. And whatever we're drinking, I don't know what you were drinking. I was probably drinking tequila or rum and coke, but dancing to Lenny Kravitz. And that, yeah, Annie got all the rhythm in our family, you guys, and she's quite a lovely dancer. So
You're a little silly, but you're sweet. Okay, so my honorable mention, also from the apartment days, not necessarily a song that I think of the lyrics, but I do think of dancing, and that would be Divine Thing by the Stoop Dragons.
Oh, yes.
A dance where we would do this, whatever the silly dance that was, and I'm pretty sure that we didn't invent it. I don't know where we learned it, but probably James. James is pretty good at coming up
No,
with,
you know where we learned it? We learned it
Where?
at the Honors Complex dances, the dances that Carrie Hale used to DJ. There was a bunch of there were a bunch of guys doing, or a bunch of students doing that dance that you and I had never, like, what the hell is this? And so I don't know who we learned it from, but it was definitely at one of those honors dances.
Yeah. I wonder
They
if
would
it
happen every now and then.
to Wild Wild West by Escape Club. Now that I think of it, I think that was the same dance, but
No,
anyways,
Wild Wild West was definitely an electric slide / bus stop experience.
Okay.
Boy, again, two bands that I could not tell you anything else they sing, but
Nope.
those two songs do make me want to jump. And we should have done that when I was in Kansas while we were having, you know, the big sing along in the kitchen on the
Yeah.
last night we were there, because that was all kinds of fun. But yeah, oh gosh, the Soup Dragons, that's a good, oh my gosh, this is going to be an epic playlist, people. Oh
Yeah.
my Lord.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're at number 1, aren't we?
We are.
How did we get here so quickly? This
I
could
don't
probably
know.
be a top 20 list, but it's not the top 20 podcast. It's
Oh, it
the
could. Yeah.
top 5 podcast, but we're going to mention them all. They're all going to be in the playlist. Should come as no surprise to anyone who follows the show and pays attention to, you know, all of the stories Annie and I relate about these pop culture things that we intersect with, but it's fading fast by the Go-Go's. And to a certain extent, you know, our other sister, Jenny. But in terms of sharing the Go-Go's experience, the concert experience, I have only done that with you. And anymore, it's, you know, when I think about you, that is usually the song that comes top of mind, because we got to share that fantastic experience together. And I have a daydream that they're touring again and that we go, and somehow they know the 5 women know that this is our song and they call us up on stage to sing it with them. And that is like the daydream of my life. So Belinda, Jane, Kathy, Gina, Charlotte, just know that if you tour again and Annie and I are in the audience, we're coming up to sing with you. So,
when we're in the audience.
right. When we're in the audience. Exactly. There you go. That's my number 1.
Well, so I had like songs of yours that were on my list, but then I would make adjustments as we went, right? But I can't not make this my number 1 because it is Fading Fast by the Go-Go's. And this goes, we have listened to this song together since, I think we were living in Arkansas when it came out.
We were in Park Ridge. We were in Park Ridge when it came out.
Okay, so this song then spreads all generation, all of our lifetimes and all of the places where we've been. But we always, at some point, we're gonna sing the song. But if we had sung this last weekend, then we would have made other people feel left out. So because me, you, and Jenny, because this song, it reminds me of both of you, but you mostly because I singing it with you, but also because the Go-Go's will always be my favorite band of all. Well, yeah, my favorite girl band. That way, girl band of all time, because they were the first band I loved as a child, and when that song came out, I still love it. I listen to it at least once a week, and every time I listen to it, I think of you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I will, we've had Go-Go's memories on the show before. We have done a whole show on them. They are such an inspiration too, because of what they were able to do at the time they were able to do it, and that nobody else, there's still not been any all-girl group that wrote all their songs and played all their instruments have a number 1 album ever. They've been the only ones to do it. And that's like, well, tons of people have number 1 songs, or maybe it's the other way around. But regardless, that's still a feat that has been unmatched by any all-girl group. So yeah, power on to the women who basically started it all. And in that vein, I have to thank the LA punk rock scene, because if there had not been an LA punk rock scene, there would not have been a Go-Go's. And what a tragedy that would have been in life. So there you have it.
There you have it.
All right, Annie, let's recap. And this time you go first.
Okay, so my honorable mention, Divine Thing by the Soup Dragons for the dancing. Tough Guys, Speedwagon for Park Ridge. We Belong by Pat Benatar for Arkansas. Run, Runaway, and for college years, mostly for road trips. Number 2 is Closer to Fine, Indigo Girls, because I love hearing you sing it. And number 1, of course, Fading Fast by the Go-Go's, because it spans all of the phases of our life.
It does indeed. My honorable mention is Are You Gonna Go My Way by the beautiful Lenny Kravitz. Red Eyed Troll by the Muffs. Here and Now by Letters to Cleo. My Sister, Juliana Hatfield. Don't Treat Me Mad, Firehouse. And, of course, Fading Fast by the Go-Go's. And there you have it.
That's an amazing playlist.
That is an amazing playlist, because you have rockin' out songs. You do have mostly female artists, I'm noticing. That's interesting. That usually does not happen. But so it will be created, made available at some point after or on the day of this show's release. So with that, I guess we're going to go and treat you to another fantastic episode next week. So, Annie, thanks. It's been great.
It's been great.
And we didn't cry.
No.
Pretty amazing. All right. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the flip side. Later.